there's this fascinating story from the life of Jesus that's recorded in John chapter 9. And it's about a man who had been born blind, and he was now an adult, and he eked out a living by begging. And he had an encounter with Jesus. But to understand the encounter, we have to understand the climate. Because at this point of Jesus' earthly ministry, he had so rankled the religious establishment that they had labeled Jesus as an evildoer and a troublemaker. They said the guy is not from God because he does not keep the rules and regulations. And the religious establishment labeled him as just a troublemaker. And they even said this: if anybody starts to follow him, you are going to be excommunicated from our religion. No heaven, no God, no social network, no support, gone. Because the guy's nothing but trouble. That was the climate. Jesus is in Jerusalem. He walks by and he sees this blind man begging. And his apostles who were with him chose this occasion to ask a question. They said, Jesus, who sinned to make this guy born blind? Was it him or his parents? So it was a burning theological question in Jesus' day. If you had some kind of problem in your life, it was obviously because God was mad at you because you had sinned. And, and this guy was born blind, so here's the question. Is God punishing him for mom and dad's sin, or did this guy sin in utero? Which happened? How did it work? And so they're concerned about this theological issue. Jesus is so simple-minded. He was just concerned about the blind guy. And he didn't think this was an occasion for a theological discussion. He thought it was an occasion for compassion. And Jesus goes, well, okay, look, first of all, neither. Because God's not like that. But this guy was born blind so that God could be glorified. Watch this. And then Jesus, I have no idea why he did this. Nothing. He takes dirt and he spits in it and he makes mud balls. And he takes the mud balls and he sticks them on the eye of this blind guy. Now, if I'm the blind guy, I'm going, what are you doing? A coin, yes. A mud ball in the eye, no. Could you imagine? What was this guy thinking? This guy's making mud and sticking it in my eyes. Anyway, so Jesus gets unpacking all the mud in his eyes. And Jesus goes, now I want you to get up, and I want you to go to this pool, body of water, not far from here, and I want you to wash, and when you wash, you'll see. And then Jesus leaves. Leaves. I just imagine get inside the skin of this guy. It's like, well, I got mud in my eyes. I suppose I do need to go wash no matter what happens. So he gets up and either with help, or I don't know how he made his way, he makes his way to the pool and he gets some water and he begins to wash the mud that Jesus caked on his eyes. And as he finally gets it all off there and slowly opens his eyes, he sees for the first time in his life. Imagine that. He is overjoyed. And the people around him are like, what? He says, I see. How did this happen? Seriously, he goes, some guy came by, made mud, put it in my eyes, told me to wash. Boom, I can see. And they're like, whoa, it's a miracle. Let's go tell the religious leaders because they're going to be thrilled. And they ran and tell the religious leaders, you won't believe this. You know that guy? I was begging because he's born blind. Yeah. Well, guess what? He can see now. No. Yeah. Bring him here. So they bring him here. Man, are you really the guy born blind? Yeah, I am. What happened? Okay, I'm sitting there. A guy comes by, makes mud, put it in my eyes. I go, wash, I can see. Who was this guy? It's this guy named Jesus. Oh, that was the wrong thing to say. And right away, the religious leaders said, this cannot be, because we know he is evil. And the guy goes, well, whether he's evil or not, I really don't know, but I used to be blind and now I see, and I think that's cool. And they say, you can't be the guy actually born blind. So no lie, this is what they do. They send for the parents of the guy who's born blind. And they get drugged back to the church, back to the synagogue, and the religious leaders go, is this your son who is born blind? And they go, well, yeah, it is. And they said, how did this happen? Now again, they were afraid that if they got caught up in this Jesus stuff, they would be excommunicated from the synagogue. So they didn't even answer. They said, look, he's an adult. Ask him how it happened. We don't want anything to do with this. So they turn to this guy who used to be blind once again, and they say, give God glory. We know this man is a sinner. Now, what happened? And by now the guy is like, I used to be blind. Are you guys deaf? I've told you the story 3 times now. He goes, why do you ask me this question again? Do you want to become his disciples? Whoa, did they get mad? They were furious. And they said, we're disciples of Moses. This guy, we don't even know where he's from. And this guy who used to be blind goes, well, that's amazing. Because we know that God only listens to really good people. And this guy has God's ear in such a way that he can make people who are born blind see again. And yet you say you don't know where he's from. And at that point, they are so angry. They literally said, who are you to lecture us? Which means we cannot stand up against your argument, so shut up now. So, you know what they did? They excommunicated the guy. They put him out of the temple. They put him out of the synagogue. God, you're out of here. That's it. And you know, so the guy gets thrown out. He gets excommunicated. Now imagine him walking down the street and he's thinking to himself, this has been quite a day. I started out begging like every other day. And then mud in the eyes and wash and see and drug in and my parents come in and they have to vouch I'm their kid and then now I'm excommunicated. It's been quite a day. Then this happened. Jesus heard that they had thrown him out. And when Jesus found him, he said to him, do you believe in the Son of Man? Now, this guy would have understood it completely. Jesus was saying, do you believe in the Messiah, that God is sending somebody who can deliver and rescue and give you a new heart and reconcile you to God, all that stuff? Get the response. Who is he, sir? The man asked. Tell me so that I may believe him.